I'm Thomas Galvin, Chairman of the Maricopa County Board of Supervisors, representing District 2 of the Board of Supervisors, but also a big hockey fan, but also a big fan of the Valley. And what I've been saying for the past year is that I think it was really unfortunate, especially when politicians took glee in the demise of the Arizona Coyotes when they left our state. And I took that personal. And as a member now in elected office, I believe that we need leadership and we need to be advocates, not just for sports, but for economic development. And as you can see here, there's passion for hockey, there's passion for the NHL, there's passion to return the NHL back to Arizona. And I want to thank these kids for being here. You're the future of our valley, you're the future of our community, but also your future hockey players, whether you go professional or not. And hopefully maybe one day you're playing for the Coyotes, the new Coyotes, or you're playing in another team in NHL, or you're playing in the league for women and young girls. But I think this is a testament to how important this issue is. It's not just about sports, it's about family, it's about community. I want to thank the parents here as well. When I made this announcement in January that I was forming an advisory panel, this is exactly what I envisioned, to have parents, kids come together and community advocates come together and fight for what I believe was our hockey team. And I'm going to underline and underscore the word our. Arizona is known for hosting sports and doing a great job hosting sports, whether that's the Super Bowl, whether that's NASCAR, the Phoenix Open. And we've had a great history of Coyotes in terms of the fans. But I really feel like leadership and several ownership groups, frankly, have been letting down the fans and letting down the kids. And I don't think we want to let that happen. So when I made the announcement that I'm forming an advisory panel, I had an image and a vision in mind that we needed political leadership, we needed business leadership, and we needed hockey experts to come together. And the reason why we're celebrating this week is that I'm eternally grateful and really grateful to Andrea Doan for stepping up and willing to be the chair of this committee. I want everyone to give her a round of applause, please. Andrea and Shane Doan have been advocates and ambassadors for hockey, but also advocates and ambassadors for the Valley and for Arizona. Their name is synonymous with hockey, but their name is also synonymous with the Valley and with Arizona. And they have carried a great reputation, and they've carried a great legacy across the United States, but also in Canada. This is an issue for North America, and I've been really struck by how much attention we've received in Canada. And I really want all the Canadians to see how much Arizonans love hockey. Am I right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's right. And so one aspect of that is what I consider to be community engagement. It's the sport of hockey. And when I met with Shane Doan after I made my announcement, he goes, Tom, I not only care about returning an NHL team to Arizona, but I want to make sure we grow the sport of hockey, that we reach out to communities where we have been underserved, whether that's the Latino community, whether that's people with a lower socioeconomic class, but also the kids who love hockey and the parents who want them to grow in a sport. And why is this sport great? It teaches about teamwork. It teaches about working together. It teaches about sportsmanship. There are so many things that kids are going to take away from their hockey experience that is more than just the numbers on the scoreboard. And for that, I want to say I'm eternally grateful for Lyndsey, who has been doing an amazing job. And how hard is it to do this job, Lyndsey, when the Arizona Coyotes left town? But you have persevered and you've kept on. And I want to give everyone, have her give a round of applause for everything that Lyndsey and her team have done. Not easy, Lyndsey, to do this every single day. You're not looking for accolades. These are the unsung heroes of the local sport, and I'm really grateful for Andrea and Lyndsey. We're working together. We're looking forward to working together, and I'm going to introduce you all to Andrea Doan, the chair of our committee to bring the NHL back to Arizona. Andrea?
Thank you. Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you, Tom. Okay, yes, as my name is Andrea Doan, I'm honored to be a part of this effort to bring the NHL back to Arizona. Hockey has obviously played a very important role in our life and our family's life. And you know what? I am so honored to be working with Maricopa County Chairman Tom Galvin and other community members to bring back the NHL to Arizona. So I'll be working closely with Tom and others in the community on strategies that we can bring the team back and finding an ownership group that's committed to Arizona hockey and identifying viable options for an NHL arena. Arizona is a major sports state. People come across the country, across the world to come here to watch our professional sports teams year-round, and it is important to bring back the NHL to the 5th largest metro in the nation. The hockey community in this state is committed to bringing the NHL back to the desert, and I look forward to helping to make that a reality. Our goal is to establish an organization that is rooted in our community and build a team that is successful. Arizona is a hockey state, and hockey belongs in the desert. From all over the state, fans have expressed their support for this effort, and we thank you, and we ask you to stay involved as the hard work begins. The hockey community in the state is thriving, and we are fortunate to have leaders like Lyndsey Fry. Lyndsey's been playing hockey her whole life. She was a member of the Olympic women's ice hockey team, and she is the co-founder of the Matt Schott Arizona Hockey Legacy Foundation. Her team will be developing and championing community outreach, which is a key element in the plan to bring the NHL back to Arizona. It's my pleasure to introduce Lyndsey Fry. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, all of you kids and parents, for coming out today. We're super excited that you're here because I think this just exemplifies how important this is to our community. And that's really the pillar that our team is focused on, is that community effort. Just to give you guys a little background on me, I was born and raised here in Arizona. I was the first hockey player, male or female, to have the opportunity to represent our state on the Olympic stage. And that was always something that I was very, very proud of, and a big reason why I wanted to come back home and get involved in the community, get involved in growing the game, and have been so fortunate alongside so many other teammates to be able to do that here. My hockey journey started really because I was a beneficiary of the Coyotes coming down from Winnipeg originally. And because of that, more rinks started being built, one of which is now Ice Den Chandler. And that's where I started playing when I was 6 years old. And because of that, I have had so many wonderful things in my life. I tell people all the time, truly, everything good I've ever had in my life, whether it be my relationship with my family, my memories as a kid, my education. I was able to go on and play Division I hockey in college. My Olympic experience, in a weird roundabout way, my marriage, my career, everything good I have ever had in my life has come from this game, every lesson I've learned, and that's why we are so passionate about making sure that we pass this on to other kids, other families, so that they can have the same. When we found out that the Coyotes were leaving, it was really important to the group of us that had worked for the Arizona Coyotes, that were in the hockey development department, running Learn to Play, running street hockey clinics, really trying to grow that very, very bottom base of the pyramid. We didn't want that to die. And we certainly didn't want the work that Matt Schott had put together to go away. For those of you that don't know Matt is the namesake of our foundation because he was really a champion for growing the game in Arizona. A lot of these kids today are probably playing because they went through a Learn to Play program that was the brainchild of Matt Schott. Unfortunately, he passed away when he was 34 years old, and we made it our personal mission not only to keep his legacy alive and keep his programs alive, but also to make sure that we continue to put sticks in hands of all of these kids around Arizona that want the opportunity to play. When I first was able to meet Tom, the big thing we talked about was what are the ingredients that go into a successful NHL franchise. And for us, it really comes down to three key pillars. Obviously, he touched on two of them: arena, ownership, and then that third one is community. And if you can get all three of those things right, you're going to be in a really, really good spot. I've had the opportunity to run committees for the NHL, broadcast with the Coyotes, so I was able to go around and see all of these different clubs, talk to their leaders, and really get an understanding of what works well, and it really boils down to those three things. So we're really excited. My team is amazing. We're ready to work hard and take care of that community pillar while these guys tackle the ownership and arena pillars. So just thank everybody again for coming out, and we're going to put everything we have into this, and we're going to be a team while we do it.
Thank you, Lyndsey. Before we do Q&A, I'm going to ask Lyndsey and Andrew to come next to me. We're going to take a photo here with the kids because this is what it's all about, community engagement. So if anyone wants to take photos, we're ready to do that now. Smile wide, guys. Say hockey.
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 That's a great smile word.
Say Coyotes.
Coyotes.
There you go. Anyone got one more?
Ooh. Ice Den.
Ice Den. Okay, thank you, everybody. We're ready for questions, and as you can see, Andrea and Lyndsey really nailed it in terms of what this is all about today. Go ahead.
I'm wondering if you could specify about the areas of the valley you're looking at. I know it's downtown, maybe the east, maybe you can clarify kind of the area.
So the question, if you couldn't hear it, is what areas of the valley are we looking at in terms of the location of arena? It's a two-part answer. One, we're open and willing and able to listen to any part of the valley, but I think we have seen that certain parts of the valley, it hasn't worked. So certain areas are going to be more viable than others, but that's the job of the advisory committee to study. Another question here.
Yeah, have you communicated with the NHL yet about what your plans are? Or?
Yeah, so when I came up with this idea, and it's amazing to come here a year later after coming up with the idea, first phone call I made was to Gary Bettman, the commissioner of the NHL. Obviously, the history here of the Coyotes is not a good one. Most of it good, but unfortunately there were situations and circumstances that led for the Coyotes to leave town. So wanted to check in with him about the viability and the interest of Phoenix remaining a good market for the NHL. And before I could even finish my opening remarks, he said absolutely. And I met with him and the Deputy Commissioner, Bill Daly, and they know Andrea really well, they know Lyndsey really well. And what I said to him is that we're going to have to prove it. We're going to have to show that this is a community that not only still loves hockey, but can host and have a viable NHL team. So obviously it's on us now. We have to worry about ourselves. We're not going to worry about any other city. We're just going to worry about what we can do for the region. Yes?
Tom, I know you've been waiting a while to attach the domain to this venture.
Yeah.
Just curious what it was like that period of time while people were asking, are you doing anything? Is anything happening? And then how gratifying it is to finally be up here and roll this.
Yeah, and I'm going to ask Andrea to come up and speak to that as well. But the question was about the Doan family. First of all, when I came out with the announcement in January, I was actually struck by how much positive feedback we got, but also the volume of feedback we got. My office was contacted on a daily basis with people who wanted to be involved, and we're just so excited and happy to finally see an elected official not knocking the Coyotes, not criticizing the Coyotes, because frankly, anytime people were laughing at the Coyotes, I felt like they were laughing at the fans, they were laughing at the fan base, and they were laughing at these kids, and I thought that was wrong. So it's good to see the feedback. Wasn't totally surprising, but it was very gratifying. Also, secondly, I've learned in politics you have to be good about setting expectations. So I said we're never going to overpromise and underdeliver. It's quite the opposite. We're going to underpromise and hopefully overdeliver. But third of all, everyone kept telling me, you need to talk to the Doan family. You need to talk to Shane. You need to talk to Andrea. Well, obviously, right? Because they have given so much. And not only has Shane played for the Coyotes, but Andrea's son played for the Coyotes. So Shane and their son have left blood, sweat, and tears on this ice, and obviously on the ice where 20,000 people were coming every single night as they competed for a Stanley Cup. But I've just appreciated Andrea's passion, her knowledge, her working knowledge of the NHL, of course, and I think she is essential to this entire effort. And for that part, I'm going to let her answer your question.
Okay, which part?
Whatever you want. Craig, you want to repeat
Yeah.
it?
Sure. We've talked about this already,
Yeah.
but what motivated you to join this cause? You told me you feel an obligation to the city.
Yeah, I don't feel like we haven't actually been working since this all happened. The whole reason we are in Arizona is because of hockey. I moved here in '97, so they'd been here for the 1 year, and we don't know this state without hockey. And so to me, this was a hiccup that sucks, but we're going to turn it around, and I truly believe that. I truly believe that this is what can happen here, and having our kids be here, being back here, and just being a part of everything. And honestly, I know Tom has probably heard more on the political side or seen things where, you know, the negative side of it. But if I'm really honest, when we were living it and when we were involved in it, I didn't see that. Like, we saw the passion, the fans, the excitement. I'm not a huge social media person, and I think that comments that are leaning towards the negative, like, that's all social media. That's not the Coyotes. That's like any team, you know, they're going to point things out like that. Like, who cares? You know what? We're moving forward, and we know that it can work here. Like, we've always known that, and not just work here. We've seen it, what they did in Vegas. We've seen Florida. They won back-to-back championships. we know people want to watch a winning organization, and that's a huge part of it. But we also understand that people understand sports, and you're not going to win all the time. But when there's the stability, and when, we're bringing everybody together, the community and the relationships, and just like the spirit of Arizona, we get that, and we are moving forward with this. So, in a positive way. Lyndsey?
Yes, go ahead.
There's a lot of reputation among the fan base here who's been very hurt by things that have gone on, that things are happening behind the scenes, and there's a lot of trust in that. I know you might not be able to share completely, but can you explain a little bit about what's going on, or at least what the committee intends to do, so that when people hear things are happening behind the scenes, they can feel confident that things are being done?
That's right. Well, first of all, I think ownership of the Coyotes let down the fan base. And so when we do this, we're going to do this the right way in identifying an ownership group that understands and respects hockey. That was very clear from Shane Doan when I met with him, but also represents and understands the community. And I want Lyndsey to address that part of your question as well, because I think that's vitally important. I see this as a three-legged stool. We need to have the location, we need to have a good owner, but we need to maintain community engagement. We don't want kids just to fall by the wayside and go to other sports, or frankly, to do things like video games and stuff. This is a good opportunity for them to see. But also, the advisory committee is going to work behind the scenes. We're going to work quietly, but we're going to work diligently. Other cities like to get news and press on a weekly basis. We're not going to be doing that. This is a serious effort because the Coyotes have had such a troubled history on those two major issues. So we want to make sure we do it the right way. But the community engagement aspect is really important. I'm going to let Lyndsey answer that part of your question.
Yeah. Hi, Leah. Great question. So one of the things that we've talked a lot about, myself, Tom, others, is the work that they're going to be doing because of this idea of not wanting to overpromise, underdeliver, is really going to happen behind the scenes. But something that we, as the Schott Foundation, that's kind of our abbreviated name, is we want to keep the excitement, the energy up for the community. We want people to be engaged. We want to be highlighting everything that's going on. The simplest way that I can say it is if Gary Bettman, in all of his free time, which I'm sure he has plenty, were to Google Arizona hockey or Houston hockey or Atlanta hockey. When he Googles Arizona hockey, I want him to see 30 fresh, exciting stories of things that are going on here in the Valley, so that he understands, whoa, this community is rocking. They haven't slowed down for 1 second since the Coyotes left. And that's really been our mission as the Schott Foundation. We want to preserve the growth of hockey in the state of Arizona, and that's what we've been doing, and it's been incredible. We've put 500 plus kids through Learn to Play in the last year, and just for relativity's sake, the most we ever put through in a year under the Coyotes was 700. So just when you think about the impact of what we're doing to try to keep the numbers up, keep everything rolling, it's significant. So all of this campaign, as far as NHL to Arizona, is going to be predominantly powered by us up front, facing with everybody. And of course, when Tom and Andrea and the advisory panel have more large-scale announcements about arena and ownership, those will come out in due time. But in the meantime, we're going to keep everybody excited and keep everybody rolling.
Go ahead, Craig.
Can I ask a follow-up?
Yep.
I know what you've been doing for the past year to try and keep this alive. As you said, try to bridge the gap from the Coyotes to whatever comes next. What are your thoughts on what the Vegas Golden Knights are?
It's a good question. So the question was, what do I think about the Vegas Golden Knights and what they're doing? First and foremost, let's start here. Anything that gets new hockey players playing hockey in the state of Arizona is a good thing. And for that, we appreciate the programming that they're running. I think from our standpoint, there definitely was a little disappointment because we had sort of pitched this idea that we thought would be really, really cool, where it could be a three-group effort between us, the Vegas Golden Knights, and the now Utah Mammoth, to try to figure out, okay, how do we amplify and make our impact even bigger in growing the game here with not only one but two NHL teams being involved. And I think it just goes back to the excitement around having the NHL in general here in Arizona. Unfortunately, Vegas decided to go a different direction. Totally their prerogative to do that from a business standpoint. We've still been in conversation with Utah, which we felt was important. I mean, at the end of the day, those are the guys that we're involved in our community, coming out and visiting the rinks, helping run clinics. Clayton Keller made a significant donation to us when we were first getting our legs under us. So I know obviously there's that hurt of the team going to Utah, but those guys still care. I saw Clayton Keller in the airport this summer. I mean, it's 120 degrees out and he's still calling this place home in the summer when he wants to train. So I think that's pretty special. We'll see where that goes and how it integrates into this entire cause, but that's kind of where things stand between not only Vegas but also Utah.
Great. Over here.
Explain why and how the county is involved in this.
So this is me doing this on my own initiative. Someone said, how is the county involved in this? So this is not officially county business. This is me using my bully pulpit as an elected official, but also I believe as a community advocate. Every single day I'm representing either my district at where this location is located or the entire county. And once again, I just think this is a question of leadership and assembling a group of people who come from the business world, who come from the political world, and come from the hockey world, I think is essential. I didn't see anyone step up after the Coyotes left town and say, hey, what can we do to bring a hockey team back to Arizona? And I figured, why not me?
Tom, following up on that,
Yeah.
do you feel like that political sport maybe there's a groundswell of it now? Are you
I do.
more support?
The question is there political support? Absolutely. As soon as I made the announcement in January that I'd like to see this happen, just tremendous feedback from all sectors of town. People were very happy, and people were just saying, finally someone's saying something. Another question here.
I've got a political question for you. As you're searching for this ownership group, the topic of tax incentives, public dollars, whether it be for a taxing district, has been a roadblock on previous stadium plans. What's the messaging to prospective ownership groups about how they're going to have to fund this stadium?
There's no message regarding any tax issues for an ownership group. That's on them. For us, this is about building community support, building a coalition to bring a team here. All of those questions you're asking are hypotheticals, and they're going to be down the line.
But I mean, are you planning to warn them ahead of time that, hey, these are the issues that previous owners have run into?
I think these are very smart, sophisticated people who can do their own research and can Google it at any point. And obviously, all these questions are going to come up. Of course, they're huge issues, but we want to be showing that we're an attractive place to bring a professional hockey team back to Arizona. Yes, sir.
Question: when you talked to the commissioner of the NHL, did he give you a timeline on how long this might take?
No, there's no timeline here, but I think Andrea, Lyndsey, and I all agree that this is going to be a years-long process, right? We're not going to be announcing next month that we have an owner, we have a location, we have a team. It is literally going to be a years-long process. But guess what? For every single expansion team in the NHL, it's been a years-long process, whether it's Vegas, Seattle, what have you. Yes, sir.
You can't really afford to be too picky when you're looking for this amount of money and finding an owner, but given the history, what does the right owner look like here?
The right owner is someone who cares about Arizona, cares about the Valley, understands the passions that Andrea and Lyndsey have. I think the fact that Lyndsey, being an Olympian, is a big deal. She's a great model for young women. Andrea is a great model for young women. Also, Andrea has had family over the decades in this league, and they're still both involved in the league. So an owner has to be respectful of that. And I'm optimistic that that's going to happen. And those people are going to have to do the hard work as well, right? It's not like we're just going to make it an easy path for them, but it's to show that this is a place that's conducive for an NHL team. Craig, you have asked too many questions, so let me see if anyone else has a question they haven't asked yet. Yes, sir. And then I'll go back to you, Craig.
Is the goal to bring back the team under the Coyotes name? And if so, doesn't the previous owner still own that brand?
So as I understand it, the NHL still retains the name Coyotes and the records, but this is a great question for Andrea to answer because she has a very passionate idea about that question.
Okay, well, that's our understanding, the way that it was worded and how everything happened last year and the speed of it, in order for it to work out the way that it did, it was sort of almost, let's see, how's the best way to explain this? It was like they were able to take the players and some of the personnel, but not the history, the naming rights, and anything else that goes along with that. That was essentially, the phrasing they used was put to sleep, and it can be brought back up, like Sleeping Beauty, I think.
Oh.
Does that include the logo?
Yeah. Well, I think, however, an owner would want to create that, but...
Yeah, the NHL, I can speak to this, because the Girls Association here runs or uses the Kachina logo. We actually work very closely. This is my Kachina hat, not my shot hat, but we work with the NHL on logo usage, RFLs, those types of things. So all of the logos and branding is now owned by the NHL.
And just to clarify, is that a yes for trying, you want it to be the Coyotes, or is that open?
That's Andrea's opinion,
Yeah.
which I highly respect. So you know what? Let's say
100%.
yes. Let's say yes. Who am I to contradict? All right, Craig, last one.
I wanted to ask one more question, Andrea. Curious how the family has reacted.
Our family?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think everyone's excited about it, and it is kind of emotional, I have to admit, coming in here and seeing all the kids and being back at the Ice Den, of course, because it's like our life. And, you know, Shane did play here, and he poured his blood, sweat, and tears into this team, doing literally, like, didn't ever stop working to make the team work here. And then, of course, now with Josh, that we watched him live out his actual dream. He, as a kid, was like, of course I'm playing for the Coyotes. And, you know, some of our family members are like, are you guys going to break it to him that that's, like, probably not going to happen? But his sisters were always like, yes, it will. The way Josh is, he's going to end up playing for the Coyotes. So, you know what? Yeah, it wasn't the best situation for them to leave, of course. We would have hoped that they would have stayed. But it still is a sport. It's entertainment. It's hockey. We understand. He still could have got traded. I don't know, for any of you that don't know, he's now with the Buffalo Sabres, so go Sabres. And you know what? They're so excited. They can't wait for this to all work out and come back. And yeah, everyone in the family's excited about it. So.
Oh, sorry.
Really quick for Lyndsey, what can we do? What's the message that we need to give to hockey fans, that people want to see hockey back in the Valley? What can community people do now? Is it picking up the phone and talking to the representatives? What is the next step for the people who want to see hockey?
Well, I'll let Tom talk to the political side of it, certainly, but I don't think, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I don't necessarily think the phone calls, the emails, the letters directly to representatives is what's most helpful for them right here and now. They need to get to work. There's a lot to do behind the scenes. They know that people are passionate. So that's really what we've tried to take on is figuring out a different avenue for fans to get engaged, for supporters to get engaged, and that's the entire NHL to Arizona movement that we're really trying to get to take off. So I think a very, very simple one is to follow on social media across the board, NHL to Arizona, very simple, to just stay abreast of different updates, whether it be directly from Tom and Andrea or whether it just be about the hockey community in general. We are going to try to put out as much content as we can just to make sure that people understand what is going on in the Valley. If you play here at the Ice Den, what are they doing in Peoria? What's happening over here? Like, there are so many, and anybody in this room, these kids, there are so many incredible stories that just speak to the heartbeat of what this community is and the importance and the life-changing moments that this sport can provide. So I would say that's the easiest thing to do. We plan to host different events. Would love to have people come and volunteer. Certainly on the ice, if you're a coach or if you're a parent who has their coaching credentials, when we run Learn to Play in your rink, we would love to have volunteers out for that. But you can go to NHL2Arizona.com and find more information about how to get involved. We certainly hope you do. We have an incredible team that I haven't shouted out yet, but I need to because I'm just one person and a good mouthpiece. I'm trying to resurrect my broadcasting career up here, but we have an amazing team. We've got an incredible board of people, but it really comes down to our staff. Zach Savage, who's been running around out here. If Matt Schott was my left arm, Zach Savage is my right arm. He's incredible and just gets so much done. That 500 plus kids in Learn to Play, that is all Patrick Murphy, who's here. He has been absolutely working like a dog, nights, weekends, everything to get all that coming together. And then we've got our marketing team, Matt Schwader, Wes Fry, Corey Kavanaugh. And I bring all those names up because every single one of those individuals are former employees for the Arizona Coyotes. And when they could have taken a job elsewhere that maybe paid them more money or would give them more, immediate opportunity, they jumped in with us head first and said, no, we need to keep this alive. We want to keep this alive. And to me, that's what this entire movement is all about. So let's do it together, like I said, and everybody has a role to play.
Great. Lyndsey nailed it. And I just want to add one more thing, a shout out to ASU Hockey. I don't know if they're here today. They were possibly going to be here, but this is an integrated effort. And I spoke with the athletic director, Graham Rossini, this week, and with their coach, Coach Powers, and they're very supportive of this effort and very excited about it.